clue number one. It kind of comes down here. There's another one right there. There's a bunch of other little ones. Here's another little one right here. That's clue number one. Those little quartz outcroppings, they don't mean a whole lot really in the greater scheme of things. They are kind of hard to see. They kind of blend in pretty good. I don't think it's necessarily iron staining that's going on with them, but me and my little co-pilot, my navigator, we are going to be walking up this mountain today. It's already got me breathing hard. But I've been doing some research in this spot. It's been quite a bit of research. On CalTopo, I'll show you guys that here in a second. I found some areas that have been dug up, and mission today is, though, we're gonna get us some samples. This isn't exactly what her and I needed to see right now. I was hoping for more of a gravelly bottom to this wash, but it's pretty full of overburden. Let me show you what I found here on CalTopo. I am pointing towards two test holes that are up there, up that way somewhere, that somebody dug at. And what I wanted to do was right below the test hole, right here in the wash, grab a sample, but this kind of material is just going to be no bueno. So what we're going to end up doing is heading to spot 2 on the phone, see if this place gets a little bit juicier. At some point or another, I'm gonna have to go scale that mountain. Won't be today, but we will go that way and find all of these 3 spots physically and look at the holes that research said they were only test holes for gold. They did find it a little bit. So my mission here is to just be checking down below, see if I can find any gold values at all that may have washed down, I guess. If a good place pops up to get a sample, we'll be back. We are about halfway to point 2, and one thing I've noticed is how the geology, when we first started our walk, we had pretty light looking stones like this. As we get up in here farther, there's stuff like this getting a little bit darker. Look at this one over here, it's got some moss growing on it, but getting darker and darker. Stuff like all of this right here. We didn't have this color of material down lower, so the geology is changing some. Be honest with you, some of this in here doesn't look too terrible. I guess maybe we could grab a sample from here. It is fairly gravelly. This stuff might just do here. Let me see if I can find a spot that I like, and we'll snag us a gallon of it. This spot doesn't look too terrible. We'll get our bag out, dig down a little bit here, try to get a little something from a little bit down low, hopefully not too low, and get this bag filled up. This will be sample number 1, and we're gonna get back on the trail, guys. I'll bring you back. We'll check the map right now and see exactly where we are. Number 1 in the history books. We'll slide that stuff down there. We'll throw the pick in this pocket. Be hanging out a little bit, but that's all right. grab our scoop. Let me reclaim this hole so it looks halfway decent, and we'll check the map. Well, I'll be a son of a gun. We are right below where that test hole is, up there somewhere. It's not really all that far from where we're at right now. But I know one thing is that farther down, I did see some gravels kind of at the beginning. That's where we're going to have to take the third sample. For now, we're going to head up to that third little hole I see up here and see about getting a sample there. Shouldn't take us a whole lot longer to get up there. I need to get my little hitchhiker, throw him back in my jacket. The ground is kind of wet out here today, and it's in the high 30s, so it's kind of cold. I don't want her getting wet. Let me get the backpack thrown back on my shoulders, and we're gonna hit the trail. All right, we're back at sample number 3, and you can see, did I talk about this already? How all 3 of those dots are all in a line. Yeah, that's not what nature made, that's what man made. There's some kind of quartz vein here, some kind of indicator that they were chasing, and that's why they went across that mountainside, chasing that vein to see if they could find something that would be worthwhile. Let me show you what I'm finding here on the third sample. Now we're starting to see little quartz, tiny little quartz pebbles everywhere. Some of them are not worth a darn. Some of them do have a little mineralization to them. A lot of them are completely white, but we didn't see any quartz up until this area here. That's promising. This is some pretty good looking gravel, and we're gonna grab a sample from under this log over here. Yeah, this is gonna be harder than what I thought. The ground is pretty frozen over here. Yeah, let me get to hammering on this stuff pretty hard, guys. I'll be back. My little baby kangaroo decided to stay in the pocket this round. You know, guys, and only going and grabbing a gallon of material like this, be hard pressed to find hardly anything in it. What I'm looking for out of this is possibly just even a tiny little piece, just one little piece. That's all I need. If I can get one little piece out of 3/4 of a gallon, then that means that we're kind of on to something here. Tamp our hole here, put everything back, and the backpack's gonna get heavier. All right, we're gonna walk back down. There was a spot to get a sample all the way at the beginning. I wanted to get one a little bit south of where the test holes are. First one was pretty far from the first test hole, but it's all right. Let's get down there. I'll bring you guys back on sample number 3. Big rocks, big gold. What do you think? It would probably be better if I searched the mountainside instead of working down here at the very bottom. Searching the mountainside, looking for some kind of ancient bench way up over there is much better. I'll have to do some more LiDAR research on that mountainside, see if there's something below where those pock marks are. We've got an inside bend, this fine powdery gold here in New Mexico. I have better luck finding it not at the beginning of the inside bend, but I always have better luck over here on the tail end of it. I think we ought to come in here, snag us something here, possibly maybe behind this rock or that one. It doesn't matter. Either one of these 3 will do. I think we'll grab it from here. Make this sample number 3, which was actually supposed to be sample 1. I kind of walked by this spot before and didn't really think about it because I wanted to get a little bit higher. So let me throw this camera up and then we'll get our final sample right here. Had about 1 inch of frozen material on the top. That stuff isn't gonna hold anything anyway. I'm down about 8 inches now. We'll grab us some from here. Gotta break it. Oof. Pretty packed in here. I had to really kind of go at it and chop it up pretty good. Boy, my phone is just going over here. Somebody is trying to get a hold of me. I got this pic from the GPAA website, and I'll tell you what, it's very little stuff. You know, this would be a pic for a gold monster. Go down about 6-7 inches right here. So that's perfect for a gold monster. My other bigger pick, since the 2300 goes deeper, that's what my other larger pick is for. Sample numero 3, but really number 1. Gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with running this stuff when I get home though. Oh, she's getting heavier. Come on. Come on, perra. Get in the kangaroo pocket. We are not too far from the truck. Need to fill in this hole here. Can't be leaving big old gaping holes everywhere. Tampon it a little bit here. We're off to the truck. Look at this quartzy. Looks like it's probably some kind of granite-y quartz conglomerate. This is quite the piece. It's pretty damn beautiful. Maybe I ought to pack this down with me too. Now, this has no mineralization on it. It's all just pretty white quartz. Maybe it has a little bit in there, but I don't see a whole lot. Pretty cool. Figured I'd share carrying this big old bad boy back, and this time we will see you at the house for real this time. Back at home, have been working on this. It's been taking me about an hour. It's still the same day. Let me show you what I just finished up. Here's sample 1, everything above a 12th. Terrific cheesecake blue bunny, that's sample number 1. I got a lot in that one. Here's sample number 2, bunny tracks. Kind of only have half of this full of material, but 1 and 2, they kind of look pretty similar when it comes to the material, which is no shocker. Number 3, salted caramel. Yeah, I've been eating blue bunny here lately and saving these containers. It's about halfway full. Here's the material in this stuff that's above a 12th. Lots of bigger chunks of quartz in here. I don't see anything to write home about really in the way of the quartz, but always nice to see that. This would be an indicator that possibly 3 will have some. Who knows? And there's always a possibility we will find none. For now, I'm gonna get all these samples drug inside. I'm not gonna pan them. I'm gonna run them through 2 old prospectors silt scrubber, the top sluice, if you will. I don't know how long this video is getting and how much of that I'll show, but I'll show a little bit of it. Let me get some chores and stuff done, and then I'll be back after a bit. Boy, my table is a mess. But here are our samples. There's number 1, number 2, number 3. We'll get to running 1. using the silt scrubber, depth tube. You take all this apart and wash them out to get at the concentrates that you dump in here. A while back, Just Lucid sent me some of his little spoons. Just dump the stuff in there like that. I'll get to running it all out. As you can see, it goes down through this funnel, goes through that way. Does a complete spiral down there. You can't see it, but kind of like right there is where all the dirt just dumps out to the bottom of the bucket. But I've got 3 clean outs to do here and got to pan this stuff too. So once I get all the way to the very bitter end, I'll bring you guys back. We'll see if we found anything at all. Sample 1's not in there anymore. It's in the pan. We are here at the end. I still got 2 and 3 to go through. See what we get, and bam. That's pretty surprising. I was expecting maybe the possibility of 3 being better. Don't know. I'm going to pan out 2, see what that looks like. Maybe all 3 will have gold. That would be totally awesome. I'm going to get this stuff sucked up. I'll bring you back once we've got number 2 done. Sample number 2 from the middle of that little canyon. Does have some magnetite in it. Not a whole lot. A good little amount though. So, little hard to see under those bubbles, but there is nothing underneath those bubbles. That little piece right there, that's not a piece of gold. So number 2 has nothing. Off to sample 3. If you guys ever go and download that app, CalTopo, kind of takes a little bit to learn and what settings to use for filters on there. Hit me up, goldpansuntan@gmail.com, and I will show you exactly how my filters are set up and how I roll. That might come in handy, but here's pan 3. I don't see nothing in here. I did see one after the fact in 2 where that chunk was kind of like over here. There was a little piece of gold in 2. Believe it or not, I did see it. I don't know. That could have been pan contamination from pan 1. I'll get this snuffer bottle all emptied out, dried up, all that good stuff. If it moves the scale, I'll be shocked. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll throw it in a black powder pan so we can see it a little bit better. I think I lost some in the transfer. This is going to be a big pain in the butt too, trying to get all this tiny fine stuff in this pan so that we can get it weighed. It's teared out, and believe it or not, guys, this stuff shrunk. Once it dried out, boy, this gold, it always looks twice as small as when it's wet than dry. I don't foresee me being able to pour this out. All that's going to stay in there. Let me get a brush. There it all is. That's a piece of trash right over there. It's showing goose eggs. Believe it or not, though, guys, you know, to find this much little tiny flour gold in one spot and only drag out of there 6 or 8 pounds of material to find that much, what would happen if I was able to go over there and get 80 pounds of material or 800 pounds of material? So this is actually a pretty darn good spot. So we'll try to get back over there at some point or another. You know, this spot, it's on a national forest. So will it ever be good and profitable to go there? Not really, because I can't make all the messes that I'd really like. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get back at it around here at the homestead. Hope you guys have a good rest of the week. Gold Pen and Suntan over and out.